Hey, Facebook friends. This is Dee Dee Devon of Divine Intervention Lifestyle and Nutrition Health Coaching. Back with my Wednesdays Walk Your Talk, Women's Wisdom on what works and what doesn't. Today, I want to talk about the key to having a breakthrough in any area of your life. And I mean any area of your life. And I was coaching someone the other day, and I realized that there's a moment when your life changes. And it's not when you lose 20 pounds. It's not when you earn $100,000. It's not when you graduate, get married, have a baby. Those are all great things to experience. But those are not what actually changes your life. And what I realized was I was thinking back to my early days of being a health coach, and the moment where my clients' lives began to change was the moment they made the decision, right? It wasn't when they started, it was actually when they made the decision. Decisions are what creates change. One of the reasons people stay stuck is because they simply don't make decisions. Now, you probably have decisions that you've wanted to make for a long time and you've been stalling. So, this is an opportunity to tell one on yourself. You probably made promises that you would take action, but then maybe you didn't do it. I want to invite you into a little truth telling here. What is an area of your life where you have a decision that you've wanted to make that would change your life? Ask yourself, what is a decision that you've wanted to make that you've been stalling on? Such as starting to exercise, stop smoking, putting yourself first. The first promises I notice that most people tend to break are the ones to ourselves. And one reason why is because some of us put ourselves as the last priority and we need to be the first. Always, always we need to be the first. It's worth the work to keep promises to yourself and be a person of your word. Change your habits, but keep your commitments. Why? Because you'll like and respect yourself more, and so will others. If you're constantly breaking and making and breaking promises to yourself, then you're not really making promises. You're just talking, right? So what I'm talking about here is resolve. It's resolve to make something happen. When you really, really, really want something, I always say 5 reallys, really, 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 really want something, you'll find a way, don't you? When you really don't want something, then you'll find it, you'll find an excuse. Some people say, it took me 10 years to change my health. No, it didn't in actuality. It only took a moment. It took a decision. Yes, 10 years might have been what happened afterwards before you got the results you wanted, but it began with a decision. And it didn't matter how long it took. When you have a dream or something that you truly, truly want that would change the course of your life, the kind of decision I'm talking about is a capital D decision, or a double D decision, as I would say. Now, why don't we make decisions? What are some reasons why you really haven't made that decision? And the decision I'm talking about, again, has weight to it. It has commitment to it. It's not just like, yeah, it would be nice if such and such would happen. But most of us are half-assing our decision making. And I kind of want to eat better. I'd really love to have a new job. I'd love to go back to school. Is that what you're living, eating, breathing, sleeping, doing? And what is the energy behind it? Is it sort of lackadaisical? I put energy into looking for a new job, but it was inconvenient, so it didn't work out. I'm done. Is it like that? Action has to have activation behind it. Action has to have activation. And that means the energy that you bring to it, your come from. Are you compassionate? Are you committed? Are you enthusiastic? Where does your drive come from, right? When I'm coming from failure, fear of judgment, this won't work for me, or skepticism, then it doesn't really work out. That's not real commitment. That's not a decision. So I'm curious, why haven't you made those decisions in your life when you know it's something that could change your life? Some of the reasons we don't make decisions is we have fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of what other people might think, fear that if we take action and it won't get the results that we're looking for, fear we don't have the confidence, we'll waste our time, right? Maybe it's that we've taken some action and it didn't produce the positive feedback that we were hoping for, and so we stopped. Failure, by the way, is not when you don't make any money or lose any weight. That's not failure. That's feedback. It's not failure, though. Failure is only when you stop. There's one kind of failure, and that's the failure to commit where there is no turning back. I got curious 30, 40, 56, about 8 or 9 years ago. I wondered what might happen if I really and truly committed to eating clean foods. That doesn't mean that I never get to eat birthday cake or something like that. But I was like, I want to eat foods that give me energy rather than foods that rob me of energy. Foods that when I eat it, that there's like a clarity. I feel nutritionally fulfilled. My body digests it well. And I wondered, what might happen if I eat like that all the time? I wondered what might happen if I stopped eating chemically laced foods. So I committed to that. And if you imagine yourself having wild aspirations, can you define what that means for you? What are your terms for success? For me, it was knowing that I always had a choice, and I chose to eat whole, organically grown, local, if possible, in-season foods. But that took time and experience and practice, and I faltered many times. I had many meals that didn't go as successful as I wish they had, but it was by doing it, my commitment to do it and get better at it. I don't remember who said this, but it was somebody great in the world once said, if you're a sponge, be the best sponge that you can be. Whatever it is, if you're going to be a toilet bowl cleaner, be the best darn toilet bowl cleaner you can be. And what I was committing to is being the healthiest version of myself that I could be and to inspire others to do the same, which means constantly clearing the weeds out of my body, inside my mind, opening my heart. That's work, which is always a work in progress, always. And it meant committing myself to health, getting the training that I needed, getting the experience I needed to actually being in the arena and facing the fire, walking on the coals, being in it. And yeah, you're going to make mistakes, but you don't learn if you're not willing to take risks. Whenever I tried a new food or recipe or took my client through an exercise and it didn't go so well, and I'm like freaking out, my family's freaking out, and I want to throw in the towel, it's a time to come back to that anchor point, that capital D decision, and go, there has to be a way forward because there's no turning back for me. This is what I'm doing, and I'm going forward. Most people, unfortunately, stop just short of success. It's like, how do you know when to quit? And most people tend to quit right before they succeed. So failure isn't making giant gains all the time. Failure is the moment you decide to stop. My idol, Tony Robbins, was told no 100 times before he got his first yes. And there are many other greats as well, Madonna for one. So what I'm talking about here is decisions. Decisions are what creates change. And there's a moment in your life, maybe it's something that's stuck around for a while. And really what it is, that stuck feeling is when we're stalling on making an important decision. One of the reasons people stay stuck is they simply don't make decisions. So, what this conversation is about is declaring some area of your life where you are ready to make that decision and to notice the moment. And I promise you, the moment when you do it, you'll feel free. Decisions are what free us. So, you can take stock right now of what a decision is that you've wanted to make for a while that would change your life. You can notice, why haven't you made it? And then there's this moment. And what do you want to do about it now? If you want to eat cleanly, if you want to have a flexible body, what are you doing about it daily? One of my decisions that I recently made is I really, 5 reallys, want to do a handstand and hold it for more than a few seconds. Every time I see a yogi do that, I'm so jealous, but really I'm super inspired. There are moments when I can do it for a second or two, but I have to do it consistently, and I haven't made that decision. So I'm making the decision that I'm going to practice my handstand every night for 5 minutes before bed. And will that get me into the perfect frozen handstand? I kind of don't even really care in a way. Even though that's my goal because it gives me a North Star, but I kind of don't care because it's all about who you get to become on the journey once you've made the decision. That's what this is about. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate how engaged you are with what you want? And what I mean by that is you put your whole self into it. It's an I'm all in. What are you all in for? I was in yoga the other day, and I was the person in the class, doing the warrior pose. But I had it like, floppy arms. I had the legs, but if you know the warrior pose, I was doing the legs, but the arms were kind of lazy. I admit it. I wasn't committed. So, what does it mean to be in full engagement in warrior pose? What does it mean to be in full engagement in what you choose to do this next moment while you're even listening to this? How are you being in full engagement? I was going to title this I'm engaged, but then I thought I might get a lot of congratulations. So I hope you get engaged, and I want to congratulate you. And to start rating yourself outright, how much energy is behind it? I think the reason why people need a coach or should have a coach is that it raises our level of commitment and engagement. I want to be in powerful engagement with everything that I'm doing. Does that mean that I never get to rest, that there's no restoration? Does it mean that I have to be on all the time? No, it's a choice. But when I'm in these contexts, I give it my all. And that's what I want. And I do think that it's important, that it is an important key to my success, is that choice. Now, when you are in full engagement, you need to have a lot of energy. You can feel it, right? In my voice. It's about having a lot of energy. And this is why I think health is the first doorway of transformation. If you don't have a surplus of energy or good, high quality, clean energy, then it makes it really hard to do what I'm talking about, to have drive. This is the one thing that you can control, is how much you give in every moment. What you give is what you become. And this is the only thing you control. And at the end of every day, I started asking myself recently, am I proud of who I was today and what I gave? Did I give it my all? When you are on your deathbed, you will also have to answer this question. Did I play full out? Did I live a life that I'm proud of? Am I at peace with who I am? You never regret what you tried. You only regret what you didn't do when you had the chance. So right now, you are still alive. You're here. Get in agreement with being here and being alive, and come alive. I know I'm on a rant tonight, but it's been this really interesting question because since I've been coaching people and seeing what it is that makes one person successful and another one who feels like she's really stuck and struggling, and what I've noticed is that the one has the decision and plus. It's not just a decision, it's decision plus activated engagement or activated action. That's what fuels success. And it's attractive, it's magnetic, it's irresistible. And I would have to say that's how I attracted my husband. My greatest love story is that I wasn't looking at him, he was looking at me. So the question with the person that's stuck is going, interesting, where could you be a more powerful engagement? Where have you not made the decision or half-assed your decision? Not a capital D decision that what do you do to turn on and off your engagement? What are your practices? How do you get fired up? And you have to answer that every single day. Take inventory. Working out is what turns me on. Eating healthy turns me on. Smiling at strangers turns me on. We can also make decisions about being inactive. So make a 100% decision for being inactive. You know, in this time period, I choose to be more passive. I choose to be in inaction. Then you don't get to complain that something's not working, right? We don't get to complain that, oh, I tried this and I tried that and it didn't work out. Did you really? And were you a powerful engagement with it? 10 times out of 10, when I really got down to it with myself, my family, friends, or clients, the answer is no. There's an area where we weren't really fully committed because it feels risky to make that kind of commitment. And yeah, what's it going to require? Your willingness to expose yourself, to get it wrong, to maybe disappoint someone or maybe be criticized. Yep, that's what it takes. And my intention for you, I'm going to wrap this up really quick, to take away from this is there's an area of your life where you haven't yet made a decision. And that's the piece that's having you feel stuck. Once you make that decision, your life is going to change and you're going to feel a lot freer. You can feel the truth of that intuitively. There's a resonance there. Notice. And you might not be ready to make that full decision yet, but you can feel into a place, perhaps in the near future, in the exact right amount of time for you now, that you will have made that decision and the freedom that comes with that. The second piece I want you to take away is to notice where you are a powerful engagement and where you are not. What is it that turns you on and turns you off? And the third and final thing I want you to take away is putting energy behind actions. So whatever action you take, it's activated action. It's energy rich. When you try to deal with your problems or challenges, when you approach them with low energy, do they feel harder or easier? When you deal with them with low energy, it feels a lot harder. Put two people together with low energy and what happens? Not much. Pretty lackluster. But you put two people together who have energy, or one person who brings a lot of energy, even one person out of a room of 100. You bring one person who has a lot of energy, similar to a instructor of a dance class or a workout aerobic class. What happens to the entire room? The vibration rises. Then everyone starts to feel more energy. Then it gets more energy, right? It feeds upon itself. So Those are the things I want you to take away from today. And at the bottom line, it's to go all in. If you've got a passion, a dream, then there's nothing really stopping you except your story about what stops you. And that's a beautiful inquiry. I don't mean that as a judgment or shame, not at all, not at all. It's an invitation, it's an inquiry. And with that, let's play full out. Let's be the best humans that we can be. And if you're lacking in energy, how do you get more energy? One idea is to hire a health coach to support you, and the other is to do more of the things that feed your spirit. Please feel free to share this video with anyone that you feel that could use this information. And also feel free to leave me a comment or DM me for additional support. Until next week, my friends, namaste.